Vinyl. Aren't we all, man? Aren't we all? I understand. I will call you Vinyl. Vin for sure. Vin shook Hugo's hand and said, "Hey, on my way over here, I noticed there were some other guys roaming around, and I could help you go see if they're okay." Hugo nodded. Says, "You know, you can actually make a lot of sense sometimes. Let's do it, man." The first was in a bad way. He was stooped and had lost his hair. His pants were apparently so irradiated and constricted, they were choking his crotchular region. His gait was erratic, and yet his countenance was not one of pain, but one of calm. Hugo turned to Vin and said, "Shit, this one's bad off. I think he's in shock." "Hey, buddy, you okay?" asked Vin. "Yeah, I'm fine," said the kid. "I wasn't even in the blast. I just got here. I was over at my youth counseling meeting at the Droids and Girls Club when I heard the explosion. It took me a while to get here because I forgot to put my pants on today. So I had to borrow a pair from the center. These suckers are way too small, so I can barely move in them. My cannolis are killing me. I also couldn't find my wallet, socks, or half a swing. But I had a duty to those little droid delinquents, so off I went to work. And I'll help you look for more survivors, but I have to get back in 15 minutes because I'm holding a youth summit with Darth Vader, Mahatma Gandhi, and Dennis Rodman."
I did accuse him of forgetting his glove a few games.
"Whatever," said Hugo. Man, you're hopping like a bird," said Hugo. "I'm going to call you Crow Toe." Spoiler alert. All right. Yes, that's one. They found the others and gathered them in. The first one was easy. David the Strong strode purposefully right up to the group. His clothes were torn and dirty and his hair was a mess. He'd obviously been caught in the explosion, yet was unfazed and carried a perfectly intact can of beer. He simply said to them in a husky whisper, "I snagged this puppy out of the air. I'm going back to get some more." Oh, and by the way, there might be a couple other guys out there too. They found Jones in almost the exact opposite state. He was wandering aimlessly because he couldn't find a beer. He was muttering something about, "Should have focused on fallout shelters instead of tax shelters." And other nonsensical phrases. However, his hair was perfect. It had tasty waves. Spinelka would have been proud of. And more body than Carmen Electra.
Love those tasty waves.
The last two were Peter and Brian. Together they made their way to clear ground. Brian explained to Hugo and the group how he had helped Peter to his feet and learned that Peter was apparently mute. Brian had kept talking to him and guided him toward the oncoming band of survivors. And then when they got there, they all leaned in and were staring at Peter, as if somehow their proximity would give them insight as to why he couldn't speak.
He said like 8 words the whole year. I was like, what the fuck?
They were all staring at him, and suddenly Peter calmly stated, "I can give each one of you idiots my school picture for your own very self, if you would kindly just back the hell up and stop gawking." Brian was dumbfounded and started laughing in relief. Hugo just smiled. He realized Peter could indeed talk all along. It was just that, unlike the rest of the group, he waited until they actually had something to say.
Exactly.
They all made their way back to the original crash site, and Hugo listened as the group got to know one another. He heard odd bits of conversation such as, "Mind if I dance with your date?" "Cheeseburger, cheeseburger, cheeseburger." And, "I could stick your face in some dough and make gorilla cookies." And, beer. And, "You look lovely today, Mrs. Cleaver." And you know, in all this excitement, I can't remember if I've had 6 beers or 7. But seeing as how this is a Colt 45, the most powerful malt liquor in the world, it's capable of making you blow chunks till your head comes clean off, you have to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Oh boy. Hugo knew right then that there was no way this group of misfits would be able to function on their own. So in a misguided leap of good intentions, he jumped up on the beer truck and announced, "Listen up, all you dickheads!" "Since I feel responsible for this mess, I hereby offer that we stick together through thick and thin, fighting for truth, justice, and the American way, or just having a few laughs." The bedraggled band nodded in assent, but really it was mostly confusion. And just as they had each raised a beer to cement their pact, the cab door of the beer truck swung open, and out came the Chancerator, grinning like the Cheshire Cat, exclaiming, "Count me in, dudes! I can get us a few bucks in scrap for the truck and the van, and I can make baseball gloves for everybody. You just have to let me pitch once in a while." "Deal," said Hugo. And he announced, "I call us the Huguenots." "Make that the assholes," offered Brady Soros from the group. "Okay then," said Hugo, "Astros it is." And so it began. Our mistakenly named lads took on all comers from galaxies near and far. The Power Rangers, the Klingons, the asteroids, the hemorrhoids, fancy yes, and comets. So, let's all raise a glass and toast the astros.
Nice job, Steve.
Yeah.